Alright, it's time for another Leader Bike Shootout 2011. We've got our 2010 Bike of the Year. BMW S1000RR. It was the class of the field in leader bikes, gave new horsepower numbers that we've never seen before out of a stock bike. And now, entering into competition is the new ZX-10R from Kawasaki. New traction control, show a big piston fork. It's also got plenty of motor in it as well.
Okay, so it has been a year since I last rode the S1000RR. Getting on it today, I was pleasantly reminded of what a wonderful leader bike this thing is. However, more recently I'd ridden the new ZX-10R at Road Atlanta. Today we're out here at Buttonwillow. Not nearly the same caliber of track. Nevertheless, the Ninja acquitted itself quite well out here, despite all the rough surfaces. Okay, so one of the great features of the new ZX-10R is Kawasaki's SKTRC or SK Trick, the sport traction control, as well as switchable power modes. Quite an advantage out here at Buttonwillow. It has a few sections that are rather slippery, or they feel slippery, as well as the rougher, bumpier surface. Had an opportunity several times to feel the back end kind of spin up and move and get a little unconnected from the track, but never at one point did I feel like I had to slam the throttle shut. Doesn't necessarily mean I kept it pinned, but it was a very manageable feeling at all times, especially knowing how the Kawasaki traction control will allow a degree of slip and spin to the point where the rider, to whatever degree they're comfortable, can continue to maintain it. It's an excellent feature for the ZX-10. BMW also has a great traction control system. Both of them are also, I should point out, they're not crazy intrusive. They both have degrees of wheel spin, allowable wheel spin. So both are very manageable. Something I like about the ZX-10, the new ZX-10, feels almost like a super sport in terms of its dimensions. Feels much more compact. I feel much more confident in the front end than I did in the previous model. Just better balanced feeling front to rear. A lot of that has to do with the show of big piston fork front end. Stable at just about any point. Responds to steering inputs, whether it's mid-corner, last minute changes. Never gives you more than what you ask for. If you ask for a little bit more lean turn, it gives it to you, and only to that point. So again, prefer the dimensions for the new bike. I feel comfortable on it like I would a 600, but it's got all that extra horsepower, great stability, great power. Really, really happy with this still, after having ridden it now a second time on the track.
So the Kawasaki here at Buttonwillow, it is vastly superior to the old one. We like the old one, but this is better in every single way. I think only the front brakes are about the same, and they were excellent before, and they're still excellent now. Great motor, slipper clutch. Again, Kawasaki's really got a handle on that. And there's really nothing to complain about. The suspension, we didn't have a tech here to set it up, and even though the track was challenging to get it set up with the bumps, it still managed it quite well. And I guess the question is if it's really going to beat the S1000RR. So the S1000RR, it has the same package we had last year, which includes traction control and anti-lock brakes. This Kawasaki, you can get it with anti-lock brakes, but this particular example doesn't have it. But the interesting thing about the Kawasaki or the BMW traction control is that the 4 different modes allow you 4 different lean angles before traction control intrudes. And that's great as a 4 bikes in one stepping stone kind of way. But on the other hand, it can be a little intrusive in the lower settings, and the Kawasaki just seems more seamless and less intrusive, especially in its lower settings. But again, the BMW is, I don't know how they're doing it, but they got again about 175 horsepower at the rear wheel, and the Kawasaki should have about that. And in the European tuning, apparently they're getting somewhere around that number. But here in America, to meet sound emissions requirements, ours, we got about 163 at the rear wheel, which isn't exactly slow. But Kawasaki's probably not too happy that their new bike doesn't quite match the power of this one-year-old BMW.
Well, kind of a conclusion we've come to is it's really hard to draw a conclusion between the pair out here on the track. They each have attributes that we like that make them competitive with one another. A couple things we can nitpick on each. However, it's I guess I gotta go ahead and say it. It's proverbial 6 of one, half dozen of another almost. If you're looking for sheer power delivery, then the BMW's extra 10 or 12, ostensibly 10 or 12 horsepower might make the difference for you. But you really don't feel anything lacking in the ZX. I don't know, it seems weak, but there are just a lot of great things to say about each bike. It's really hard to come up with a serious drawback to say one is less performing than the other.
The amazing thing to me is how similar these bikes are, and not just that they're leader bikes in the same class, but they actually feel the same. The riding positions are very similar, power delivery feels very close, excellent brakes, both got traction control, and really, there's no clearly defined winner here. They're both great bikes, and 6 of one, half dozen of another, again.